Good morning, everyone. Been hardwiring my landline and internet services, and just wanted to share some of the old tools that guys like me use to do that and finding pairs. The tone generator receiver and the transmitter, and that's the way we used to find pairs out in the field, going to different places and hooking those up. This is kind of like twofold, because as we're moving into 5G service, the wireless service have gotten authorization from the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, to upgrade their systems, and they have to be fully online in just the next few years. But anyway, the new year kicked off the rollout of 5G throughout the United States. So my question is, will a landline telephone be a thing of the past? You know, the first cell phone type communications we had was the wireless telephone that still hooked to a wired landline, and then soon after that, the cell phone came out, and then after the cell phone came out, the smartphone. And as I said before, we thought we were in high cotton when we had the little bitty cell phones, straight out of Star Trek almost, with the flip. You know, nowadays guys tease you if they see one, hey, you got a rope starter to start that? And so anyway, people ask me, they say, well, you know, in the wireless 5G that you have in your home fast enough? And yeah, it works pretty well. But the other day, I had a connection issue, and so I decided, well, I'm going to pull out the cable and hook me up a hardwire. And so getting that done. Just to give you a kind of a snapshot of the plug configuration. That's your wiring diagram that matches up to your wire, and that's the way you connect the plugs to it for internet service. Now, if you're connecting computer to computer, you have to use a crossover plug, and the crossover plug, you'll notice on this side is green, and on this side it's orange. Okay, and then you have green over here, that's orange over here. So that's the crossover plug configuration to work that out. So when you're working with the old time telecom stuff, the old wall plugs and how you hook into it, pretty neat stuff. The thing is, the phone will work just on a pair of wires, but the only thing is, you know, you can get your wires reversed. But I wanted to segue into dielectrics. Before internet speeds got so fast, we used to do well to get a 28/8 connection, and back then we just used plain old telephone wire, and that worked fine. And it would also work fine for data communication. It just wouldn't give you 100 megabits per second between a server and your computer, but it worked well enough to do the system. As many of you know, I've set up complete networks of over 100 computers in different places. I used to test all the software that was going through it, and do a legacy print, because I learned a long time ago, especially dealing with Windows, it's not if you get a virus, it's when you get a virus. And to keep shutdown at a minimum, we use legacy systems that we had a master disk that we could just send to that computer, wipe it clean, and then reload everything up and basically have the system back up in 15 minutes. So that way, if you had a team member that was out of production because their equipment failed on them, we could put them right back in service. And so I used to do that kind of stuff. Used to run a whole lot of hardwiring and set up all the routers and everything in communication buildings, do all the bundling and everything to get that done. Lots of fun doing that kind of stuff. And I was a Microsoft guy, and then I came up through Unix and Fortran and the whole 9 yards. So I had a whole lot more understanding with when developing with PCs and Windows platforming, and then learned to toggle between two systems off the server. And the used to be a lot of money in all that, getting that done, but getting that done. I was real surprised. I had an old telephone that I needed this curlicue, and that's a smaller plug yet. I've even forgotten what the number on that is. I can look it up, so could you. But used to be able to go to the stores and buy long sections of the curly wire to hook onto the telephone. And that was our first extensions. You're still on a wire. And then we had longer wires when the Princess phones came out. And we could take the main wire there and put a really, really long telephone wire on it and go into private locations, which that was the first type extension cords that everybody wanted. And back in the day, that's what I did, is I put a bunch of Princess phones in with long cords where people could have privacy when they're talking to their boyfriends, girlfriends, stuff back in the day. So you guys that are coming up with cell phones, you're in a special generation, because we used to have to be tethered to a wire everywhere we went. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. But the segue that I wanted to segue into is with 5G, and it kind of works as an antenna. This is dielectric. It's plastic. Glass won't work. Okay. And the dielectric actually can be trained to have a memory. And a lot of people don't realize how easy. Hey, Jason. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm glad you remember those days. But so many of the devices that I build, I have to actually train to do what I want them to do electrically. And so you have to train the dielectric, just like you train metals also in different devices to do things. One of the things that is really neat with the 5G, you can actually create your own 5G super antenna, if you will, pretty simply, but you still have to train it. You have to train the dielectric in the unit. And basically with the paired wired, going from plain old telephone to a 10 base T line, that's the reason these lines work so much faster than the original plain old telephone wire with internet connections. And now we're getting speeds up to 300 megabits per second and faster. That's good. With the 5G, I understand gigabits are coming forward. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a heads up that yes, you can train dielectrics, and The interesting thing about changing the dielectrics is, remember these charge cords? Okay, that's just a charge cord. And basically all you need is 3 to 5. You can go more wraps, and you don't want them tapped on top of each other, but you can build your own unit antenna nowadays for the 5G, basically by stuffing your wire in there, and of course wrapping that with electrical tape with a lap over and turn it over. So a lot of the guys that are working with internet services are doing this, and you can do more research on how to do that. So just wanted to share that it's getting better and better, faster and faster. And some of the things to look for when you're dealing with the 5G. And I remember back when internet services came out that there was a company called NetZero, and also Gina. And for their advertisements, they'd give you a dial-up connection for free, you know. And I remember getting that and using those numbers to dial into computer networks all over the country doing business, and there wasn't any charge for it. You just had to look at the ads that popped up on your through your browser. And I understand that with the 5G, they're offering the same type services. I hadn't found the links to all that yet, but since the 5G is so much faster, they have to give up 1/2 of their lowest speed that they offer to the public. So, which is still pretty fast. You know, I always said, hey, give me a 3 megabit per second connection, and I'm happy. And I'm pretty much still that way. I don't download stuff like I used to. I don't download the music and other things anymore, and especially since they have Netflix and other services that are very reasonable priced. So, you know, you can just watch that pretty much on your TV. But for you guys out there that are real creative with technology, let me know what you find on what that is. Supposedly, the law is, you know, like your TV from the TV towers, that they have to offer 1/2 of their slowest speed. But when you're in the 5G realm, that speed is over 100 megabits per second. So that'd give you a 50 megabit per second free internet. And so we'll see where that goes. I'm kind of interested in seeing that they have that available. So just keep on keeping on. Hope you guys are having a good time, because we are. I got to get back to work and do some things. Just wanted to share what I was doing and getting the hardwire back conveniently throughout my home. And it seems archaic, but yeah, I'm still remember those days. So anyway, we'll taking a walk through the plain old telephone and getting through that. So you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next trip.